Welcome to this edition of Shem Golf Academy Lessons. We are going to continue with our game management series, and in this session we are going to talk about how to manage your game around the greens. We're going to tackle different situations you find yourself around the greens and how best to manage your game to give yourself the best likely score. Here we are still on Nakuru Golf Club, hole number 18. Right before the green there is a water feature. You can substitute this with anything. It can be a bunker, it can be just a raised green, or anything that you will need to get over to get on the green. So how do you make the best decision to give you the best score? It depends, right? With the pin placement, you have to keep in mind. Today, this pin is placed more towards the back. I have a lot of green to work with, so my options are more in this case. If the flag was closer to me with very little green, the decision would be totally different and my options would be very limited. So let's talk with the current position, maybe in the middle or back of the green. Again, when the pin is in the back of the green and you hear the PGA commentators always talk about, oh, he's lucky, he has a lot of green to work with. What they mean is he has a lot of choices. And for most part, we go with a low pitch in this case, because one, we want the ball to go over the water, pass some rough, land on the green, and roll a little bit. And this is for a middle pin or back pin. Okay, so you go with a low pitch shot. It's not a cheap shot, because you have to carry the ball a little higher in the air and a little further. Okay, so the decision number one is you've decided what shot you want to hit. You want to hit a low pitch shot. You take a club that will give you the loft to do what you want the ball to do. Again, gotta think of, what do I want the ball to do? How you want the ball to behave dictates what club and what shot you hit. Okay, so in this case, you can have two options. For me, I would have two options. I would either take a 56 and just carry it a little further into the green and let it not roll too much, or I will take a 52, a gap wedge, land it just inside the green and let it roll almost half of the way back towards the green. Okay, so that's the decision you need to make. One, what do I want the ball? Let what the ball does dictate the shot and the club. And we've talked about the difference between a pitch shot and a chip shot. So make sure you choose the right club and the right shot. If you can visualize the right shot in your head, you're more likely to execute it. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to take my 56, my sand wedge, and just try to get close with it. Very important, especially around the green and with your irons, make sure your club is clean. That ball is probably 3 feet from the flag. If you notice, the flight was high, landed a little soft and rolled all the way. Okay, so when you are behind a trouble, water, bunker, raised green, higher loft, to help you get the ball up in the air, commit to hitting it a little further, because the distance it travels, so you have to be a little aggressive because it goes higher and then it will land soft and not roll too far. Okay, Good. Let's go and check out the other scenario you'll find yourself around the green. So here we are, just around the green. No trouble at all. The pin is in the back. Gives us really the simplest shot in this case is to hit a chip shot. If you watched the other videos about the difference between a pitch and a chip shot, you understand what that means. A chip shot is when the ball stays in the air for a very short time and rolls most of the way. Okay? Again, once you decide, the first decision you have to make is, what do I want the ball to do? I want this ball not to be in the air too long. I just want it to carry over this rough because I don't want to putt it. And there are some people actually putting would be the better choice depending on what the grass is. But in this case, I don't want to putt it. So I need a club that will just loft the ball a little and roll. So I need very little loft on this shot. Again, once you decide the behavior of the ball, it will help you choose the club and tell you what technique to use. So for chip shot, I advise and I teach most of my students to go with a 9, 8 or 7 iron, whatever you're comfortable with. Why? Because those clubs have very little loft and you don't have to manipulate it. A chip shot is more like a putting stroke. So the loft will just get the ball in the air and get it rolling. Chances of you being able to roll it close to the flag is a lot better. All right. So choose a club, chip with the right loft so that you're not manipulating a 60-degree or 56-degree to keep the ball low. That's why you have so many clubs, so that they can behave differently. So in this case, I will just take my 9 iron and simply putt with it. All right. So when you have no trouble, if you can putt, that's option number 1. If you're close to the green, if you can putt, option number 1. Option number 2, chip with a less lofted club, 8, 7, 9 iron. Okay. If the pin is a little closer to you, then you can still chip with a gap wedge, a pitching wedge, or even a sand wedge. Again, the idea is to get the ball rolling as quickly as possible. Okay? But make those decisions around the green. Practice, know the difference between a chip shot and a pitch shot. Practice those shots and go confidently, knowing that you can execute either to give yourself the best chance to score. Until next time, chip and pitch well, hole out some, and make great scores. See you on the next lesson. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so by clicking the subscribe button below. Remember to click the bell button so that you can get notifications when we load new videos as well. See you on the next lesson.